I'm Heather. I'm a home baker. I've had my own baking business out of my house since 2011, I guess. Back when I worked in the corporate world before kids, I had a coworker who wanted to have me do cookies for her son's birthday party, and I took on that job and I loved it. And a year later, when I had my daughter, I quit working full-time to stay home with her. And so I started making cupcakes, mostly cupcakes and some other items for neighbors and friends for birthday parties. And over the years, I've kind of gone on and off with doing my baking, depending on what was going on in our family. The last couple of years, my kids are back in school full-time after COVID, so I've taken on a little bit more with the orders. I've also done local farmers markets. I am a certified home baker, so where I live, that means I can bake out of my home and I can sell at farmers markets. I can sell directly to people. They can pick up for me. So it's just been a nice little side job in addition to being a stay-at-home mom. So one of the most frequent things I make, because I decorate cookies and cakes and cupcakes with it, is my organic buttercream. So you'll see I'm a little messy here with the shortening, but I already have my butter. My butter's already in the bowl. I use all organic ingredients when possible. There's a few items I'll use today that are not, like my food coloring is not organic, but it is plant-based. So what I use is a brand called Color Kitchen. I really like it because it is gluten-free, plant-based, non-GMO. I wish it was organic as well, but it's a lot healthier for you than the like the chemical and, you know, the FD&C whatever number food colorings, and it's just safer for kids in general, so, and for everybody. So I use that as my coloring. I use organic butter. I wish I could buy it locally, like from a farm, but that would make things even more cost prohibitive than they already are, because ingredient prices have gone up so much. So I'm just using organic butter. Usually I buy it from Costco. I think this time I have it from Trader Joe's because they were a little short. The shortening I use is Organic All Vegetable Shortening. You can get that at like your local health food store. It's Spectrum brand. I believe you can order it from their website. I buy it at our local grocery store. So I'm adding that in. Get this in there. I like to weigh my ingredients. My brother, who's a chef, suggested that a while ago. Said it would be a lot easier than trying to measure everything, but since this is the first time I'm weighing my shortening, I wanted to put it in the measuring cup first and then weigh it. So that is what I'm doing. Rubber spatulas are my buddy. I have several of them. I also do gluten-free baking, organic as well, but gluten-free. I'm not a certified gluten-free kitchen, but I tell people that before I take a gluten-free order, and I make sure nobody has a serious disease like celiac or, you know, an anaphylactic type of situation. And then I will do orders for people with non-severe allergies or sensitivities. Okay, so we've got that. Got my sink behind me. I always have a towel handy to wipe off my hands. You can see I'm a stay-at-home mom. We've got a very busy kitchen. You might call it messy, that's okay. I'm not out here trying to make things look perfect. I'm just a stay-at-home mom who loves to bake, who loves to share my baking with the world. So I thought I would try out this YouTube thing, see if anyone feels like watching me. So I've got my butter and my shortening. Next, I'm gonna put it on my handy stand mixer. I named her Ruby, isn't she pretty? I had a 5-quart KitchenAid for years, and then last year for Christmas, I got this beautiful thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and I need my paddle or my whisk. Everything's mostly in my island for baking. So I've got the big whisk. Put that on. Never baked on film before, so excuse me, this is a little awkward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to beat together the shortening and the butter to make it a little fluffier and incorporate it. So I will take a pause while I'm doing that so you don't have to listen. This is what the butter and shortening will look like when they're blended together. I like to take my spatula, scrape down the sides of the bowl, just to make sure you get that stuff that's way on the bottom, and just kind of hit it there on your whisk, turn it back on. I'll let you guys watch it blend a little bit. can see how it's getting lighter as it blends together. It's going from that brighter yellow of the butter and lightening up a little bit because the shortening's in there. So I'll put this back on the stand and we'll add the rest of our ingredients. So we've got our butter and our shortening in there. And some people like to just use solid butter. I actually tried a recipe a few weeks ago with only butter and it was too heavy in my opinion. So I'm going to add my vanilla. I know this recipe by heart, but I like to just double check everything. It's always good to check back with your recipe because when I memorize recipes, sometimes I accidentally leave out an ingredient. So I've got my vanilla in there. I'm gonna give it another little mix. So I like to get my powdered sugar ready ahead of time. I actually buy it by, I think it's a 50-pound bag, and I buy it from Wholesome Sweeteners. You can order right from their website, and what's nice is for bakers who are either doing a lot at their home or even at an actual storefront, you can order bulk, and the prices are a lot better. I keep it stored in my basement tight. I put it inside 2 separate plastic bags because I don't want anything to get in it, and then I keep that inside a box. And what I do is every once in a while, I'll take out a bunch of powdered sugar and then I'll weigh out the amount I need per batch of buttercream. I'm not telling you it's my secret recipe, but you can find a standard buttercream recipe anywhere. But the key to a good buttercream is that you mix it long enough and that it's the right consistency. I like mine to be extra fluffy. Sometimes that's not so great for cookies, so then I have to stiffen it up a little bit. And also when I use the Color Kitchen food coloring, for whatever reason, it kind of softens up the frosting, so sometimes I'll have to add a little bit more back in. But this is all pre-sifted and pre-weighed, so I will just start slowly scooping it in. Not used to this camera thing yet, so I'm gonna probably be stepping off to the side every once in a while. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly put my powdered sugar in, and when I get about a cup or so, I'm gonna start mixing it. And what happens is it starts to get kind of chunky, and then I'll start adding my milk in. So for milk, we don't drink a lot of regular dairy milk in our family, so I always have organic almond milk on hand. I love the stuff from Aldi. If you have Aldi in your area, or whatever organic almond milk you can find, or if you're not into organic, just regular almond milk. You can use coconut milk. You can. I've had customers who were nut-free, so then I use rice milk. I'm not big on soy, but you can use soy milk. So basically any milk. I mean, I've even used my my non-flavored coconut coffee creamer before that has it's just plain no flavor to it. So really anything. I've even seen recipes that use water, but I feel that some sort of milk product gives it a better consistency. So I'm gonna start mixing, and then as it starts incorporating, I'll show you more. So you'll see that I'm mixing really slow, because if you don't, what's gonna happen is the powdered sugar will fly all over your kitchen. I have learned that the hard way. You can see it's starting to incorporate, but it's really kind of thick, and as I add more powdered sugar, it'll get chunkier. I had a little accident with the powdered sugar. That's what happens when you don't aim over the bowl. It's starting to come together. I'm gonna turn it up just a little bit. So I'm on my stand mixer. You can see I'm only at 2. You can do this with a hand mixer as well. Your wrist gets a little more sore, so I like my stand mixer. See, it's coming together. So at this point, I'm gonna add a little bit of milk. I've added some milk, a couple tablespoons, and then I'll see where we're at, and then I'll probably add a little more. So again, when you turn it on with a new ingredient, always go slow, or that new ingredient, especially liquid, will just come flying out all over. Okay, I think I'm at a point where I need to scrape down the sides. Okay, you're gonna see it's coming together really nicely now. It's starting to look smoother. A little powdered sugar stuck on the sides, but I'll scrape that down in a minute after we get the rest of it in there. It's almost gone. So we're just kind of beating it all together. It's all incorporated. I might add a little bit more milk, but you see how it's nice and fluffy looking. You will notice that it's not perfectly white because I'm using organic butter, which sometimes tends to be a little more yellow.
And I also am not adding anything in there to make it whiter. Commercial frostings and some bakeries and whatnot actually add titanium dioxide and other things to make frosting whiter and other baked goods whiter, but I use only organic ingredients when possible, and I won't use anything artificial as far as color or flavor. So if you want to watch it whip together for a minute, here you go.
Okay, I am back. Our buttercream is done. What I've done is I've taken out a little bit of it, probably about a cup, and put it in a separate bowl. I will use that in conjunction with the pink buttercream I'm gonna make. So I'm using the Color Kitchen pink packet of food coloring, plant-based, nothing artificial. So it's actually a powder. It's a really fine powder. And they do suggest either adding it to your dry ingredients, so like with your powdered sugar, or making it into a bit of a gel with a little bit of water. I like to save a step and just throw it in my buttercream when I'm done. It would be nice to put it into the powdered sugar, but with this batch, I'm dividing it between pink and white, so I can't really do it with the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna put that in there, and what'll happen is the color will brighten up and deepen a little bit as it sits in there, because it kind of, I guess, once you incorporate it, then it kind of soaks in, and the color does get a little more vibrant. So I'm gonna pour this in. I'll come grab the camera and show you guys what it looks like.
So that is the powdered food coloring. You can kind of see it's pretty bright. Now they suggest using 1 packet for 1 cup of frosting, or 2 pack. So basically a packet per cup of frosting if you want vibrant color. Sometimes I have to use a little more, it just depends. So I'm gonna mix this up. So that is 1 packet in about 5 cups of buttercream. You can see it's a very light pink, so I'm gonna add a 2nd packet. It's just the color we want. Yeah, that's getting closer. I think we'll be okay. I'm gonna scrape down the sides and then we'll see what we have.
Done with our buttercream for today. I'm gonna move on and decorate some cookies for some customers and also some surprise treats for my family. I'll probably save a little bit of the buttercream and some plain cookies for my kids to decorate on Valentine's Day. I hope to do more videos. One of my ideas is to start testing out recipes. I've cut out a lot of recipes over the years from magazines, from like the backs of the flour I buy. I use Bob's Red Mill, and they always have recipes on the back. So I'd like to try some of those recipes out. I hope to do them on my YouTube channel. This is all new to me, so I probably seem a little nervous and a little flustered today. I'm just a mom baking out of my house. I am a certified home baker where I live. And I do custom, as I said earlier, I do custom orders. I sell at farmers markets, and then I just love to bake for my family and friends. So I hope to see you again soon. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to share them. If you have a recipe you'd like me to try out, please feel free to share that too. And if it turns out and we like it, then I will share the recipe in the comments or however that works. Again, just trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing. So thanks for joining me. Have a great day. See you later from Heather Bunny Baking.